Welcome back, everyone, to your favorite YouTube movie review channel, Man Cinema Reviews, with its ever lovely host, as always, Peter Mann. What's up, y'all? Before we get into today's art house double feature episode of the latest films Tár and Triangle of Sadness, you have to do a couple things for me, and that is to press like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well to notify you of any and all content to this channel. For my day ones and my new subscribers, if it's your first time, welcome. And as always, thank you for choosing Man Cinema Reviews. We're going to start with the latest film, Triangle of Sadness, directed by Ruben Östlund. This is a cast of an ensemble which includes Harris Dickinson, Charlbi Dean, Dolly De Leon, and Woody Harrelson. This is about a cruise ship that is carrying the uber elite rich, including a celebrity model couple that ultimately gets wrecked and marooned on an island, and now the rich will have to fend for themselves with the help of one of its cleaning crew at the helm of the group. Now, with that being said, this is more of a dark satire. It is very critical of the super elite 1%, uber rich, high status citizens that flaunt their money to the chagrin of the crew aboard this cruise ship. And this is also including the captain of the ship, who's an alcoholic, played by Woody Harrelson. The ship begins to crumble, as well as pirates the very next day, taking the ship under attack and ultimately blowing up the cruise ship, and now the remaining survivors have to fend for themselves. And this is where the film really picks up, and so there's a lot of preamble, there's a lot of events that have to work its way to the crux of the film, kind of the meat and potatoes, if you will, of what the film ends up being about. It's like Lord of the Flies with the uber rich, and as well as the remaining crew members. Before that, we get these scenes of influencers just flaunting their physique. They take pictures, selfies, and this is how they earn a living as well. It's just really being critical of the super rich and elite, and it's definitely being critical of just high status citizens who think they are above people that are the misfortunate or the poor. And so it's almost like a comeuppance for the rich. Ultimately, they get what they deserve when they are marooned on this island, and you can kind of take this satire and this dark comedy and go into different avenues for how the film progresses. And it's very interesting. It doesn't make for much of a cinematic experience, however, like a social experiment, if you will. There are scenes depicting just them eating luxurious fine dine cuisine that ultimately may have gone bad, or the choppy waters at sea where the ship is beginning to crumble and to tumble, and going from left to right, and people are going off balance. They begin to feel nausea, and you get to see just the scenes of people vomiting and having difficulty with their bowel movements. It's really salacious and unsavory events that do end up happening, and if you are squeamish, or if these scenes don't really gel with you, you may want to sit this one out. It is definitely not for the faint of heart. But if you are here for a social experiment, a satire that's very critical of the rich, then Triangle of Sadness may be a good time for you. I found it very smartly produced, directed, and written. I think it's very sharp. I think it's very witty. Do I think it's entertaining a lot of the time? There are deep lulls in the film, but the cast and crew are phenomenal. And with the young cast, I was sad to hear that Charlbi, the lead actress in the film, had passed away this year, late August, at the age of 32. I was unaware until right before I started recording, and I found it very sad because I really did like her and Harris Dickinson's characters. I liked how they evolved from the beginning to the middle to the end. I thought there was great chemistry there as well. I thought she was great. I thought she's just this burgeoning actress that is on the rise, and it's very unfortunate that she passed away before even the film got a full theatrical release. And so this was dedicated to her. And I really did find most of Triangle of Sadness very interesting, very intriguing. It's one that I really think is a strong contender for me as far as the art house cinema is concerned. And I really did like the critical satire that the film does play out. And I think that Charlbi will be missed. It's unfortunate that her life was cut very short. With that, I think Triangle of Sadness is not an entertaining film, but a very interesting and intriguing look at the uber elite and what their status is and how it adversely affects them once they are put in a position where they are disarmed. And with that, I do commend the big swings that this director did take, and I will give this film a strong 4-star review. Going on to a film directed by Todd Field. He hasn't directed a film in 16 years. 2006's Little Children, and this is Todd Field's Tar, starring the amazing Cate Blanchett in just a scene-stealing performance. I think one that definitely guarantees her a Best Actress nomination for the Oscars this year. I think this was a tour de force of Cate Blanchett. I'm already a huge fan of Cate Blanchett's work, but again, she just is a phenom in this film. This film is about Lydia Tár, a renowned musician, conductor, the first ever musical director at the helm of a German orchestra. She is days away recording her latest symphony that will elevate her career, but before that happens, allegations of misconduct begin to unravel and affects her and the people around her. Now, this film also has Mark Strong co-starring in as well, but you're really here for Cate Blanchett's just knockout performance. She really is losing herself as Lydia Tár, just this very deeply troubled but complex character. Again, a phenom in the classical music world. And I think Todd Field is just a great director. He did begin as an actor. In fact, I think he soaked up game in the 1999 film Eyes Wide Shut, where he played the piano player Nick Nightingale. And I think that he really was a student of Kubrick, and I really think that he goes on to make something very similar to that film. I think this is his Eyes Wide Shut. I think it is a drama that is steeped in mystery and allure, and even though it is not classified as a horror film, there are just these moments where they're very terrifying, building up of tension and anxiety for Todd Field. I think this is one of his best films to date. I think this is a strong film. It's very haunting. The music, the score, the cinematography, Just again, the phenomenal performance by Cate Blanchett steals the show. It's nearly 3 hours long, but I didn't feel the running time at all. In fact, once the film wrapped, I wanted more from the character. I wanted to know what her trajectory was that plays in the events that just so drastically changed for her within the third act. And I just wanted to explore more of what she goes on to do in her life. And I think this is one that will deeply haunt you once you leave the theater. And it's one that I think will definitely claim a Best Actress win for Cate Blanchett. Almost guaranteed once you see this film. I think, again, this is just stunning from beginning to end, very deeply enthralling. Again, like I said, a tour de force, and I will award Tar, one of the greatest films that I've seen this year, a perfect 5-star review. Thank you very much for choosing Mad Cinema Reviews, and we'll see you on the next one.